Welcome to our episode of Bargain Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Lala-Oopsies, A So Magical Tale, the movie, which is a spin-off of Lala-Loopsy, a series of books, Nick Jr. TV show, which I'm sure has its own DVDs, to sell. But yeah, this is a spin-off, which is meant to help push a whole new toy line, You gotta collect them all after all. It's literally on the advert. So, yeah. This feels a bit like a cash grab. I also admit it's kind of hard to review this because it's aimed at preschoolers. It's sort of like trying to review a Care Bears movie. Like, you can point out animation errors and stuff like that, but it's hard not to feel like you're just punching down, at something that was never meant to be taken seriously to begin with. And it's the same with this. And, it's aimed at the preschool crowd, so how mean can I really be to it? I'm not expecting anything, here in terms of serious storytelling or deep characters. Hence why one person on Common Sense Media literally described this film as cute but vapid. And I can't really disagree with that. Like, it's cute, we got a rather colorful world, we have bright characters.
Oh no! My sugar cubes for the tea party! They're gone! What am I going to do? A tea party with no sugar cubes? What a disaster!
We have, tea parties, dance moves, but the stakes of what's going on usually aren't that high. Like, half the movie's spent watching a character, going around asking for sugar cubes for her tea party because she, dropped hers accidentally in the strawberry milk. Which does lead eventually to one of the characters talking about how everything in this universe, in this movie, is powered by strawberry milk.
Everything is powered by the strawberry milk. The lanterns, the cuckoo clocks. My oven? Even your oven. So without a current, nothing will work.
Which makes me feel like I just have to use at least a portion of this clip, from Gintama. As soon as I hear strawberry milk, that this just pops up in my head, and I can't get away from it. Though we won't include the, entire short bit, because I know YouTube likes to censor it pretty heavily. So it's just, it's not worth the trouble. Who knows, maybe even having that short bit will get me in trouble. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, eventually they realize the strawberry milk has stopped flowing properly, so they have to go and investigate. Which is when they run into some mermaids who, are talking about how there's no such thing as princess ballerinas and stuff like that. Because normally, I guess, when they go up to the surface, they can't see through it because it's too milky. But because the strawberry milk has stopped flowing, and the milk levels are going down, they're like, oh, we can clearly see through. But, of course, as this is going on, everything's losing power. Because, the milk controls everything. Yeah, a weird magical land, what can I say? But, the mermaids help out by bringing the islands closer together, so it's not as much of a journey. And yes, I find it a bit funny that the mermaids are so strong they can literally pull islands around. Apparently, according to the mermaids, they're clouds. But, that's just from their perspective, because, they float on the surface of the water, sort of like how clouds float in the sky. So I guess we have islands in the same sense as, One Piece here. At any rate, after, the princess characters, gather up their supplies to head out on their mission, the flow of strawberry milk has gotten so low that even the boat loses power. So they have to wait for the mermaids to come to the rescue again to pull the boat to the island where the milk can's at. Or I should say milk carton, not can. And while they're investigating the carton, eventually they realize, oh, there's a jam. Or the fairies do at any rate. And they pull out a strawberry. And one of the princesses is like, I'm going to keep that as a memory keepsake, of our adventure together. So, yeah, it's a very boring kind of story, because half of it's spent, on a setup for a tea party where, the princess in question had plenty of spare sugar cubes, but she doesn't want to use them because she keeps them in jars as memories, of all the other tea parties they've had. And at one point, the movie even, points out that the fairies she talked to before she head to the horses to get more sugar cubes also had a massive stockpile of sugar cubes they could have given her, making her journey to the horses completely pointless. if she had just asked, she wouldn't have had to even travel as far as she did. So yeah. And as much as I'd like to say the stakes, with the milk powering everything, should be a big deal, it's such a weird concept that strawberry milk powers everything in that universe that it's hard to take it seriously, even as, they're having a power crisis, as everything's turning off. So yeah, it's it's a cute movie, but I'm not particularly impressed by the animation. The story feels rather plodding, considering how much of it's spent, on set for a tea party. Because, these characters are extremely clumsy and drop stuff all the time. Like, it's actually a plot point that they drop, things constantly, because they lose their scepters that they're using as an oar at one point. So, a character is left literally stranded with no hope for rescue. And of course, the princesses get their scepters back at the end of the movie, because the mermaids return them as a gift. Because they usually keep everything that falls down to the bottom of the strawberry milk ocean on the grounds that, well, it's ours now. Finders keepers, losers weepers, I guess. That's sort of a life lesson, right? So, yeah, it's not the worst thing I've ever probably seen, but at the same time, as someone as old as I am, it feels very vapid and almost pointless. And the fact that it's obviously meant to help push a new line of toys, and you're kind of left with this feeling, like a soulless work, a spinoff just meant to make money and milk a series for all it's worth. And I'm just not sure this was a particularly good milk cow for them. I don't know. I don't know enough about the series to know if there's more Lala-Oopsies movies, but I'm not gonna try and find out either. Till next time, then. See ya.
Your job is very important. It's the nap. Nap? I love taking naps. It's not nap. It's napkins. I'll take care of it.